The county mourns one of its own. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Denise Douglas.
And I'm Patricia Valone. Thank you for joining us. A Prince George's County undercover narcotics officer is gunned down in front of police headquarters. 3 brothers are in custody as police work to determine the motive. Byron Scott has more.
This was the scene yesterday as scores of police cruisers rushed to the location of the deadly police shooting.
And I heard like 4 or 5 shots.
Dennis Sharp was at home watching TV.
And it was just crazy. And guns drawn, people running behind the wreck center, cars coming from everywhere. I mean, it was just like police cars just popped up out of the ground all of a sudden, and it was just frantic out here.
Frantic because a police officer had been targeted and killed by gunmen, and it happened just outside the front doors of Prince George's Police Headquarters in Palmer Park. This is the officer's car.
It is my sad duty to come to the community this evening and to tell you that one of your defenders, Ja'Kai Colson, a 4-year veteran, a 29-year-old man, lost his life in defense of this county today. One
of the suspects was wounded in the gunfight with police. A second was arrested at a nearby Popeyes restaurant. The suspects have been identified as brothers Malik and Michael Ford of Temple Hills. A third person who police say is also their brother has been taken into custody. Colson was rushed to a nearby hospital where police gathered to pray and console one another. Betty Wise didn't know the officer but felt compelled to leave flowers at a makeshift memorial.
This gives a crushing blow to the community, to everybody. I just don't understand the mindset of people doing something so cruel. I can't fathom it.
At this early stage in the investigation, there are still many unknowns, including the motive behind the shooting.
This man launched an attack on a police station and engaged several Prince George's County police officers in a gunfight to which they responded heroically. It wasn't about anything.
Colson joined the department 4 years ago and was assigned to the Narcotics Bureau. He would have turned 29 years old this week.
And just to hear, that he passed away, that he was, killed, is really unfortunate. And I feel for his family as much as anybody.
And police are expected to release more details at a news conference that starts at 5 tonight.
Well, Patty, flags are flying at half-staff at the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge in Upper Marlboro as the law enforcement community continues to mourn Officer Ja'Kai Colson. The president of the FOP called Colson a cop's cop. You can see that the awning in front of the building is also draped in a black cloth in his memory. In a statement, Governor Larry Hogan expressed shock and sadness, adding that his administration is committed to helping officials in Prince George's County with whatever help they might need. The county executive also weighing in, calling the incident tragic and asking the community to keep the slain officer's family in their prayers. Maryland National Capitol Police expressed the same sentiment, commenting that this is a difficult time. In politics, looks like Representative Donna Edwards is pulling ahead in the race for Maryland's U.S. Senate seat. The Democrat has been an underdog and is winning among several critical constituencies, according to a new poll conducted for the Baltimore Sun and the University of Baltimore. She's leading among women, African Americans, and voters in the Baltimore region. When people who were polled were asked to consider the entire field of 10 candidates, 34% of likely Democratic primary voters supported Edwards and 28% backed Representative Chris Van Hollen. Van Hollen has raised more money than Edwards and has received more endorsements.
A state lawmaker running for Congress receives a major endorsement from a local newspaper. The Washington Post announces its support for Delegate Joseline Pena-Melnyk, a candidate for Maryland's 4th congressional district. The Democrat is going up against well-known individuals in her party, such as former Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown and former Prince George's State's Attorney Glenn Ivey, as well as 5 other contenders. Pena-Melnyk is vying to replace Representative Donna Edwards, who is running for the open Senate seat we mentioned earlier. Pena-Melnyk is currently a state delegate from District 21.
Some good news for job seekers when it comes to the employment front. The state added 1,900 jobs in January. The private sector saw an increase of 43,000. The preliminary unemployment rate dropped to 4.9 from 5%. The state secretary of labor says the numbers show that their efforts on focusing on the economic development and jobs are definitely paying off.
8 firefighters are recovering from a townhouse fire in Germantown early this morning. Emergency personnel were called to the 19,300 block of Churubusco Lane about 1 a.m. While crews worked to put out the flames, the roof collapsed, trapping some inside. All 8 firefighters were taken to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. Officials say that 3 families have been displaced by the blaze. The cause of the incident is still under investigation. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Denise Douglas. Up